Welcome back to London, England. It is the Gfinity Starcraft Spring Masters 2. I am your host, Richard Lewis, here, enjoying my native country, alongside with a fellow native in the form of the Muslim. But look at what we've managed to rustle up here. It's only the greatest foreign player to have played the game. It is, of course, Stefano.
Hey, guys.
How are you doing?
Marvelous. Lovely.
Why are you here?
I like Starcraft, and I don't live so far away, so I decided to just come by and see my friends.
Yeah, but you studying in...
Yeah, studying mathematics in London.
Wow, is there anything you can't do?
In here?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Just in general. Maths, medicine...
I never did medicine. That was a rumor.
Oh,
like, yeah, I never ever did medicine.
I didn't even know that. There you go. I always thought you were going to be a doctor.
I wish, but too long studies. Anyway.
So, I don't know if you've been following
I watched a few games and disappointed to see Jaedong lose. I was actually rooting for him. I love watching him in tournaments. But sadly he's gone, and I still have True for me, so I'm happy with that.
Lots of Zergs as well. It's all Zergs in the semi-finals. What do you think of the current state of Zerg?
Well, right now I feel like we are in a stage where we can't really make out new strategy. We just have to use the actual ones and try to be the best at it and get perfect at it. And that's why we always see this roach against roach armies and fighting. It's kind of boring, but if you see like the kind of work there is behind it as a Zerg player, you can actually enjoy it, watching it, yeah.
So Ben, obviously Solar versus True coming up now. This is going to be a... Well, I mean, we're kind of thinking it's going to be close, but I don't know. Solar's been looking really good. We heard that he's just attained the #1 rank back in the Korean ladder again. So, I mean, how do you see this one going?
Honestly, seeing Solar, like he's already played Hydra, who's in the final waiting, you know. He beat him earlier on in the tournament. He beat Saxry just now 3-1, and he's no slouch either. That being said, True, after beating Bunny 3-0 so convincingly, like despite it being a different matchup, both these players seem very on form right now. Like True, he was a top 4 GSL player quite a while back when he played for Jinair, and he kind of went a little bit missing, like under the radar. He wasn't performing as well, but yeah, he's looking very, very sharp here. I don't know who to give the edge to.
And what are your thoughts, Stefano? How do you see this semi-final going? I don't know if you've been following things.
I'm not really following a lot, but my heart is always with True when he plays, and I wish him to win. Why are you laughing? Like,
where did this love for True like randomly?
It's always been like that. I like his nickname and his attitude. He's like a hard worker.
Ah, okay.
Well, hang on, wait. Why do you love True so much if you've been in like a Facebook relationship with the Muslim?
That was not official yet, so maybe you ruined it because we were supposed to announce it later on.
What, the marriage or?
No, the dating first.
Oh, so, right, okay. Oh, well, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
No one tells me anything around here, mate. Just got a blunder.
No, I'm kidding. But yeah, it's been 2 years now.
One in a few months. Start on Valentine's Day, you know, 2014.
So we're going to bring up some statistical information. There's nothing I can add to that. Just leave it. We're going to bring up some statistical information here. You can see these are the head-to-head results between True and Solar. True's got the slight edge. I mean, obviously we are going back a little bit here to before Christmas there, but these are some relatively recent games, and you can see that True has just had the edge on Solar.
Pretty darn close between them though. Like that was never a blowout in either way. Yeah, I expect pretty much the same thing. Like it's going to be very, very close between these guys.
So what is it Solar does so well? Because we did highlight him at the start of the tournament. Obviously, I think we all had SOS down as being a potential winner, and then when he went out, we kind of did turn our attentions to 2 players, Hydra and Solar.
Yeah.
So what are Solar's strengths?
Whenever you watch Solar play in any matchup, he just seems ridiculously solid. There's nothing that's going to be like, whoa, this guy's super gimmicky or whatever. It's just really, really solid. And he just doesn't make mistakes. In that respect, he's very similar to Hydra. But yeah, it's really nice to watch a player play the game in a way that you think the game should be played, in which he just expands, he does it clean, he does it in the most efficient way possible. And yeah, he's very, very good.
Well, you can see his statistical results here. Stefano, I don't know how much you know about Solar overall, but again, do you have any thoughts about him? We can talk about True very soon, don't worry.
Okay. Honestly, I don't know much about him, but I think he's one of the players who really improved a lot lately. He used to be not that like performant and stuff, and nowadays he's just like doing a really, really good job in tournaments. And that's all I can say about him.
Well, that's all right. I did want to put you on the spot. But I mean, again, we've had a feeling here that he was kind of going to get to the final. I mean, how much of an obstacle is True?
I mean, a pretty darn big one. I mean, he's made it to the semi-final. And given the fact that their history is so close and True slightly edges him out, I think he's actually a bigger one than we initially thought. That being said, Solar's already showcased that he's very good at Zerg versus Zerg. Sax3 and Hydra down already. Though that could work against him because maybe True took the opportunity to study the VODs a little bit. Like, it's very fresh, his ZVZ series. And True's already been toppled once this tournament by a Zerg in Jadon. So,
and of course, both players will have had the opportunity to have watched the other semi-finals.
Right.
So, I mean, they've had an opportunity to do some early scouting. We're going to bring up the statistics now for True. Go on then, Stefano. Okay. Come on, tell us about your boy.
Yeah, he's looking handsome for first. That's a good start. No, but you were speaking about the opponent having an idea how he was playing right now, because he actually saw the games and stuff. And I think that's not so much of an issue, because the player showing his play already showed like he could be the Zerg. And he can. That's always annoying when you play against a Zerg, because early on you have so much different openings.
Yeah.
And when you show that you can almost master all of them, the opponent will always be kind of worried what's going to happen, and he's going to think a lot and always either play on extremely defensive, that's really bad in ZVZ, or aggressive and try to win straight away, or like just try to take the control of the map. And yeah, I feel like showing you can beat Zerg is always better than not beating them and keeping a strategy for later on.
Okay.
What do you think of those comments, Ben?
No, I think
you're not going to disagree with Stefano?
Not when it comes to ZVZ, not a chance. You know, I think Stefano's a very smart guy. And when it comes to ZVZ, yeah, there's so many different openings you can do, and regardless of openings, there's so many different styles that you can add to your play. Like we saw Jadon pull out these like 14 pool, 14 gas builds, which they're not really in the meta, but he managed to win with them against True. So there's even things that aren't necessarily good, but they can work against things that are currently popular. So ZVZ, it's a very, very weird matchup. And yeah, it's one that's so complex that you only really I don't think anybody's truly mastered it yet.
So quick predictions. Who do you think is going to win?
True, if it could be a 5-0, it will be 5-0, but sadly it's a best of 5, so 3-0. No, honestly, 3-2 for True, I think. It's going to be close.
I'm going to go with Solar 3-1.
Okay, so we'll find out. Shut down. We'll find out which one of you is right very soon. Just while you hear those, Stefano, I do want to say the game isn't the same without you. I'm sure everybody out there.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
You've still got lots of fans. We all miss you. Anyway, thanks for dropping in. We're going to go to our casters now to bring in this other semi-final. It's going to be epic. It's Solar versus True. Take it away, boys.
Thank you very much, Richard. And we're all here getting ready. The audience packing out ever more by the minute as we approach, of course, that grand final is the trophy on the line, the WCS points and the dollars. Harston, this series though, ZVZ, two incredibly good players. How do you think it's going to go down?
I think Solar is going to be the guy that's going to aim for the longer games. He's known to be a very solid player that can throw out aggressive stuff for sure. But I think True is more the guy that likes to do the link baneling wars, that does the little run-bys with the links, try to kill some queens, try to pick off a lot of stuff left and right. So I think we're going to see the aggression come from True and the defense, the more solid play from Solar.
What about overall? Are you siding with Stefano saying True's going to be going for this, or going with the Muslim that it's going to be Solar's victory?
Yeah, I'm with Ben on this one, and I would say a 3-1 for Solar as well, for sure.
Yeah, I think Solar's got this, but we'll wait and see, because we are loading into the first game. It's going to be on Cactus Valley. Spawning down in the lower left-hand position. We've got the blue Zerg playing for Dead Pixels. It is True.
And in the right bottom corner, spawning as the red Zerg, playing for Team Samsung Galaxy, it is Solar. Solar opening up with a extractor trick. Bit different than what True is doing, just a standard 9 Overlord and then just get the 3 drones.
I like extractor tricks. Not for any other reason than it just seems a bit more cool.
Yeah, it does look kind of
It's a little bit of a showboaty thing. Like, I'm sure there's some proper good maths behind it.
No, there's not actually.
There's not, okay.
No, the 9 Overlord is actually better. One guy, I think somewhere at the start of Wings of Liberty actually did the math on it, and it's a very small difference, but the extractor trick is worse than the 9 Overlord.
Does make you look cool though.
It makes you look cool, and Solar is a very cool guy. He's going for a hedge first here, and so is True on a big map like Cactus Valley. It's rather standard, also a 4-player map, so they won't be scouting each other anytime soon. True is sending his second Overlord a little bit quicker than Solar is. Solar is just, he might have forgotten to send it. Or I guess that's just because of the extractor trick. Overlord a little bit later.
It was slightly late because of the extractor trick, though. That's what caused it, but very normal stuff. Both players going for this hatch first into the gas as well. Now, getting this gas down means they're going to access surging speed earlier. They delay the queens a little bit, so you go for more tech. And as we saw in the last semi-final, this sort of play, there's still multiple routes out of it. You can just get speed down, you can go for a lot of speedlings, you can keep the drones in gas, go up into roaches, go up into banelings nice and quickly. Lots of options available, and that's always good. So we'll just go and see what these two plan on doing just while they get in the early stages. But 2 Overlords, actually no, did they bump heads? I think actually Solar moved his, so it couldn't be seen.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that's all about.
Was it? Or no, it can't have been seen. Anyway, minor points. Neither player really knowing where they're spawning, so just True finding that information out first, and then the horizontals.
Yeah, it seems like Solar is in thinks that True spawned in the left top because he's sending both of his Overlords there, but that's a slight mistake. So it will be more difficult for him to scout any kind of aggression against a player like True. That's not really what you want.
You can see that True looking very focused, very ready.
Yeah, he's ready, and we see True with the Zergling speed already. Solar, on the other hand, didn't start it yet. Not sure what he's going for. He's still mining gas as well, while True completely pulled out. Solar still mining gas with 1 drone right now, and still no Zergling speed. So very curious what we're going to see from him. 2 queens on the way for both players, so a relative mirror, except for the speed.
Yeah, the 1 drone in gas but not starting up speed is quite interesting from Solar. Do you have any reasoning behind why you might be doing that?
The only thing that I can really think of is that he either forgot it or he's going for some kind of 2-base quick roach play, but we don't see a roach war, and so I'm really, I'm really feeling the forgetting for Solar here. I think he just forgot about the speed, and he will start it anytime soon now, I believe.
First few links coming over here now for True. Going to be just taking a peek in. Overlord may end up going down for True as well. There's a couple of queens going for it, and that does supply block him. It's always quite frustrating losing that Overlord. Going to have to wait for one that's only just started in production. Going to try and get a bit of damage back by taking out a drone if possible, but I don't think he's going to be getting lucky with that.
No, it's a little bit annoying for Solar to deal with. Had to build an extractor, but not that big, and we'll lose a little bit of mining on the other drones as well. Still no speed started for Solar. Starts with Lair instead. Still 80 gas right now for him, and building 3 more drones. So he's playing a very passive game so far, and speed just finished for True. Is about to try to get a drone. Does get it actually. So good trade there for True. Loses 2 links for 1 drone. That's always worth it, of course. And it seems like Solar is going to get an Evo chamber right now at the front. 2 more extractors coming down for True as well, and we see Solar taking the lead so far in the worker count.
Yeah, he's also got the Roach Warren coming on down, so we're going to be seeing a lot of Roach play from him. Workers, pretty much bang on equal at the moment. Slight differences between them, but nothing that huge yet. Interestingly, on the gas counts, gas is only just now, or the second and third gas only just now coming down for True. So what do you reckon his plan's going to be when he starts seeing this? Because he's going for a Baneling nest, but that's not going to be that great against roaches.
Yeah, definitely not. He's producing 12 links, 14 links. Maybe those are just for safety. He gets the safety Baneling nest as well, which is the standard play. Gets the scout of the main base, which is huge. He sees that there's a lair finish. He scouted how many gases there are as well. So True should have a pretty good idea of what Solar is doing right now. Throws down the third base, and he's building more links. 3 more Overlords on the way as well for True. And once those finish, I'm very curious what we're going to be seeing out of those larvae from True. Is it going to be more links? Is it going to be roaches? Maybe some kind of...
well, it can't be roaches. He doesn't have a roach one.
Yeah, he's starting with... Yeah, so he might try some kind of a roach bane bus, but we also see an Evo chamber. So very curious what True is going to do. Does manage to cancel this third base from Solar. So nice little moves coming out of True so far.
Yeah, getting that third base cancel is really solid because he's got his own third base behind this coming on up. Yes, his Roach Run's a bit delayed and he's going to be down in upgrades, but he's got a lot of map presence being granted thanks to those speedlings. He's obviously going to get an economic advantage due to the third base. But the concern is always going to be that big +1 Roach and Roach speed push that Solar's gunning towards. Defending that when you've had so long without a Roach Run, how do you do it?
Well, by building 10 or 11 roaches at the same time, I guess, and that's what True is doing. He also still has no lair, so he might just be aiming for some kind of timing right now with these 13 roaches himself. +1 on the way as well, but it will be a lot later than Solar's, and I feel like he might be hitting some kind of anti-timing where Solar's +1 just is about to finish. And finally starts layer for True, that is. His Glio reconstitution is going to be very late this game.
Yeah, it's not even started yet. His lair, as you said, only just begun. Forcing another cancel, though, at the third base is great news for him. It's delaying the move out of these roaches if they're coming across the map. It's preventing Solar from getting up a nice economy. And as a result, True is now going to be starting to really steamroll ahead from that side of things. But the +1 is now done for Solar. The roach speed is done for Solar. He can move across the map whenever he really feels like it and has quite a good advantage. But True, he's just got such a high production value now. He can get so much out so quickly thanks to that third hatchery. Do you think it'd be wise for Solar to try and push out?
Yeah, I think a little poke with +1 is never a bad thing. On the other hand, True still has a lot of speedlings on the map that could be very annoying, trying to pick off drones that are transferring or even trying to go for another cancel. So I guess Solar's just playing it safe. Did add a second Evo chamber, but he's not starting +2 or Carapace upgrade. So I'm not too sure. Yeah, here we go. Carapace being started now. He's banking a lot of gas. Oh, actually makes it a range attack upgrade. So a little bit of a mistake there earlier by Solar. True is pulling ahead in supply right now. Relatively equal drone count. Difference of 5 does not matter that much.
It's the saturation across the bases, though. The third base is up already for True, so he's going to be mining more efficiently with those drones than obviously his opponent. So that's reflected in that income tab there. Thanks, Wardy, for showing us. And yeah, this is just a bit of a tough spot for Solar because, as you said, those speedlings out on the map are quite frustrating. If Solar were to move across, he's got the risk of getting that third base cancelled again, and that would be very, very bad for him. So instead, he's having to stay at home, be a bit defensive, and we're getting into a situation where both players are really ramping up their production. True, he's been able to catch up in the upgrades a reasonable amount. He's a bit behind still, but not by as much as he was before. And so we're getting into a very, very level pegging at about the 12-minute mark.
Yeah, I feel like neither of the players really wants to move out, as they know it's a very equal game, and the Defenders advantage in Roach vs. Roach is just so big with the concave and with the production closer by the fight. It's just very difficult if both of you have the same amount of Roaches to win a battle like that. So both players are just happy in the position they are. We see an extra gas being taken for True, going up to 5 gases. Gets the Carapace, gets the +2 as well, and yeah, we see the Tunneling Claws and the Burrow right now starting for Solar, and I like this move, because with this you can do some kind of damage without actually completely committing with your full Roach Ball.
Yeah, and a couple of, 3 Roaches going a little hit squad, burrowed in, going to a mineral line. If it catches you off guard, you quickly start losing quite a few drones actually. So that's a nice little touch. Those Lings getting found by a few Roaches as well by Solar. It's just going to scare them away, get them to back on out. And this is, yeah, just really quite a normal positioning for them to be. True does have a slight supply lead in those Roaches with the 11 about to pop one out, but as a result of that he doesn't have the Burrow or the Tunneling Claws that obviously Solar's researching.
Yeah, and here comes True with a max push right now, up about 25 supply, down 2 in worker, so army supply should be relatively equal if both players maxed out. However, Solar is not maxed out yet. Just seemed to be some kind of fake poke here by True. Decided to go back after seeing what Solar's army consists of. Also, not the best timing with the upgrade finishing for Solar right now. Guess did manage to stop the Carapace upgrade for finishing for a bit, but will finish as well right now. Tunneling Claws and Burrow completed. So we're about to see some Tunneling Claw action right now from Solar. I'm very curious how True will deal with this. How many Overseers are there on the map for True right now? There is 4, and he has the Overlord speed as well, so they're gonna be very quick.
Again, coming in to contaminate that upgrade. Very frustrating getting contaminated repeatedly on your Evo chambers, especially in this Roach-on-Roach engagement. The upgrade advantage can end up being huge, but great work here by Solar. Coming in with most of his Roach force up to the top, but a small hit score going up towards the main base, but a way better concave right now for True is allowing him to crush through this army. Solar's having to retreat, and as a result, he's going to have to do a lot of damage in the main base. Already picking up 2, 3, maybe 4 workers, but with a spine there, it's not doing anywhere near as much as Solar would have wanted, and now True really has momentum as he comes in for the counter-attack.
Yeah, a lot of momentum on True's side as well as a little bit of a supply lead and a bigger bank, so these Roaches are being very, very annoying as there's no real Roaches at home to deal with. Oh, True, you really want to walk into this concave? I'm not too sure about that. Solar coming from 2 sides right now, but does he have enough Roaches? I'm not too sure about it, Metal.
No, looking at the army supply, it's 146 to 110, but with the reinforcements coming on through, it should be enough to make True back out. Behind this, he lost 8 drones as well. That means Solar's up 64 workers to 52. He's got 4 bases, as does his opponent, but for the moment, neither of them being saturated.
Yeah, I would not mind seeing a small roach squad from True going to the forward base. As he has map control right now, his army is a little bit bigger because he has those less drones. So in the long run, it's going to be worse for him. He needs to do something right now, or he needs to reproduce those drones.
Again, these 4 roaches burrowed up in the main base, coming in, causing a bit of a nightmare. And it's another 2 workers. It may not seem like the end of the world, but overall, this is giving Solar a 14 drone lead, and that is quite substantial, especially when we start getting into the later stages. The trades are coming on through. Solar pushing across the map now. Going to be looking for an opportunity to engage. He's still got Burrow and Tunneling Claws. Troop does have Burrow, but I don't think he researched Tunneling Claws yet.
Yeah, I don't think Solar can take an engagement right now. Let's take a look over there. Yeah, the position isn't perfect for him, and he also has smaller numbers, but there's a big roach ball, not actually at this fight, trying to get some kind of surround. If he is able to do that, Solar might be in a little bit of trouble, but Solar is already engaging. A lot of roaches going down for True right now, and here come all the roaches from the back. Will Solar be able to win this fight? I'm not too sure about it. There's a lot of roaches for True, a lot of reinforcements streaming in as well. 22 more roaches on the way for True, 30 in production for Solar. And this fight went very, very well for True. And he has quite a big supply lead right now, especially in the army supply.
Very strong tactical decision by True there. Coming around from behind, trapping Solar so he wasn't able to escape, and also bringing over the Overseers so there was no way to just burrow underground and tunnel away. Really nicely done. But still, the burrowed roaches are causing him some problems. He's not able to move down the map in case there was more coming through. But ooh, a bit of a misrally here by Solar. And a couple of his roaches being move command to their doom.
Yeah, and Solar can't really afford it right now. He does not have a bank at all. And he's down in supply. He's down about 30 in army supply. He is getting the +2 carapace, so that is in his favor. But it isn't finished yet. I feel like if True would move across the map right now, the least he could do is snipe the forward base, get in a good position from there on. Maybe do some roach harass himself, because he hasn't really showed any kind of run-bys so far.
But again, we've got just a couple of roaches counter-attacking, and this is taking a lot of True's attention. However, on this occasion, he is going to just be continuing on with the aggression, continuing on with the push. This is a dangerous choke to go into because the concave's quite good for the defender, but True just rams his way in, goes for it as best he can. It's going to be quite close. Defender's advantage there. Queen is also coming across. Behind this, the 4th base was lost though for True.
Yeah, so True basically put in an all-in position right now, and seems like Solar is going to be fine with the Queen support, with the transfuses, and the quick reinforcements. He might be able to hold, but True with a huge army supply is building 24 more roaches. It'll take a long, long time to get over here to the fight though.
It's going to be close, but with the better concave, it should be okay. The aggressive roaches took out the 4th base, so there's nothing really to fall back on, and that means that it's a 4-base Zerg for Solar up against the 3 bases of True. Solar also way up in the worker count, 64 to 49. Not the end of the world if you're on 3 bases compared to 4. It's still going to be a bit of a problem though. So looking at how this is going, this group of roaches moving in towards the 4th base of Solar really have to do some work. They've got to get that down, otherwise it's just a matter of time, in my opinion, until Solar just has far more money, far more production, and far more stuff.
Yeah, we already see a big bang for Solar. Does not have the larva to produce roach, though. Little gobble here at the top of the map right now. It seems like True is going to be victorious there. Supply that equal right now, but because True has the smaller worker supply right now. Oh, wow! Great move here by True with the changelings. Traps a lot of the roaches. This might actually change the course of the game completely. A lot of roaches being lost for free right now by Solar. That was a great move by True.
Absolutely fantastic, and he might get the Roach one as well. If he does that, there's no more reinforcements for Solar, and that would cause him an absolutely huge problem. In goes True. It's 130 army supply to 91. Reinforcements trying to come, but as I said, the Roach one was taken out, now being reconstructed, but there's no more roaches able to come out for Solar.
Yeah, definitely, and we see a bunch of roaches at the 4th base as well, so True being everywhere at the same time, up about 40 in army supply right now. No more roaches being able to produce for Solar. He's trying to reproduce his roach warren, but I don't think it's going to be in time. More roaches streaming across the map for True as well. 4th base goes down. It's moving towards the 3rd as we speak. Up 50 supply. I think this is going to be it, Medals.
It is 78 army supply to 25. No more roaches coming for Solar. And True is pressing his advantage. GG. And True is going to take game number 1 of this best of 5.
Yeah, great play there by True. I think actually what won him the game was the little changeling move. Insane move that we haven't seen too much. Solar could have burrowed under him, I guess, but didn't think of it in the spur of the moment.
The thing is that True was just using a lot of very cool features. He was actually massively using his Overseers. Not only for those changelings, but prior to that, he was contaminating Evo chambers, delaying the upgrades of Solar, really, really nice. But also just the strategic decisions of True were bang on the money. He came around behind, he got that surround on the Roaches of Solar, forcing the engagement when he was obviously not in the greatest position. So overall, True just looked really solid there, and I think Solar needs to find some way to step it up in the next game.
Yeah, definitely. And if you take a look at the maps right now, we saw that the first map was Cactus Valley, and in my opinion, this would be a map for Solar. It's a bigger map. It's a map that allows for longer games, but True showing that he's not scared of Solar in the longer game. He can play macro. He can play anything he wants. He can be aggressive, can play macro. So I might have underestimated him there a little bit. Next map is going to be Iron Fortress, and that's a 4-player map as well. So it's going to be rather difficult at the start for the scouting. Sometimes you will see something like a 13-12 speed baning all in, or maybe a 10-pool bane, something similar like that. But we might just see a double hedge first again as well.
I think we definitely could be seeing that. Iron Fortress, though, being a bigger map, in theory, does favour Solar a bit as well. He's got a nice late game stage in theory. But game number 1, True just seemed to be thinking just 1-2 steps ahead at everything, and it really showed through. And as a result, he's now got that win. He's getting a little bit closer to that final, to that, obviously, best of 7, where he's got the chance to win the entire Gfinity Spring Masters, get those WCS points, and get the trophy.
And the money.
And the money. And the money.
It's not all about WCS
You're transitioning well to being a caster, Harstem, knowing all about the money.
It's all about the money now for me, Medals. Yeah, definitely. I'm very curious if we're going to see the same kind of passive play in the first 12, 13 minutes of the game, or if True decides to mix it up, maybe throw something, or even Solar can mix it up. I felt like Solar was playing a more timing-based style in this game, where he had good timings. He had the Glio Reconstitution and the +1 finishing at the same time against, well, the same amount of roaches, but he didn't really go for it. He probably was like, well, if I just survive with my own upgrades, if I get my own roaches out, I'll be fine in the late game. And True just kind of proved him wrong there.
It was really interesting you mentioned about the early stages, because it was a very passive start to that series. It was just sitting back, waiting. Neither player really feeling they had the confidence, and you touched on that saying the defender's advantage in ZVZ is absolutely massive, especially in Roach on Roach, because you get trickling through. But on Cactus Valley, there's also quite a few tight chokes, where if you are the aggressor, you can get caught with your opponent with a very nice concave on you, so that can be a bit problematic. So
yeah, definitely. We saw a lot in the series before this, Jaedong against Hydra, where basically one guy felt like he had an advantage, attacked into the other one, was like, oh, I guess now I have a disadvantage, and it would continue like this. Yeah, they kind of lost them a few games, so I guess Solar and True were like, well, let's just stay at home, play it passive, don't want to risk losing in a stupid way like that. And I guess it worked out better for True like this.
Well, we'll find out how it's going to work out for him in game number 2, because here we are, Iron Fortress. They're in cross spawns, and to the top left-hand spot, we have, representing Samsung Galaxy, none other than Solar.
And in the right bottom corner, spawning as the Blue Zerg, playing for Team Dead Pixel. It is the guy that's up 1-0, True! No early pools so far. We might see something like a 14-14, of course, still possible. Very safe build. Well, more of an aggressive build, I guess.
I think we'll see Hatch first out on this map, and the reason being is it is so large, the potential for the cross spawn.
It's only this big in the cross spawn though. In the close position, it's 66% chance that it's a close position. So it's a map where you look at it, well, it's a big map, it's a 4-player map, but actually in 2 of the positions it's rather close, and you notice that when you're playing against a Zerg, you get Ling Roachel in quite a bit on this map.
Would you not roll the dice then if it was you on that hatch first?
I always roll the dice. I'm a Protoss player, so don't talk to me about this. But yeah, both are going for the hatch first, so you were right. I guess hatch first is a proper safe build after all.
We'll see if it goes for gases or pools. That's really the big thing. And Solar going down for the spawning pool first. And I think that's a nice touch. Just in case your opponent was going for something risky. Just in case you were in the close spawner positions, it could cause you a problem. But True, he's just like, yeah, I went hatch gas. I like it, so I'm going to do the same thing again.
Yeah, Solar actually played it really safe. He went for 14 hatch, I believe, and 15 hatch, 14 pool. So he did not build any drones at all. Got down to 13 supply. And does not take a gas. So we might be seeing some gasless play by Solar.
Of course, getting that pool down earlier means that if we saw True go for something like a 9 pool, he'd be completely safe despite going a hatchery first here. Yes. So Solar just playing it a bit more cautious. He is down a game after all, but being a best of 5, losing the first game doesn't really ramp up pressure too much, because obviously you've got 2 more potential losses before you've got eliminated. So That's the advantage of going into a best of 5 rather than a best of 3. Now, in terms of production, Solar just grabbing a couple of lings. I like this. It's going to allow him to get out on the map, get a little bit of information, get some scouting down. Whereas True, he's grabbing a few more. What's he going to do with the gas, though? Is he going to stop at 100? Yes. Starts up Zergling speed. So, he should just get a couple of lings. I don't think he's going to commit massively. Would you disagree with that?
No, I don't think. He might try to snipe a drone. Normally, in a hedge first against hedge first situation, it's very difficult to scout because the 2 queens will be out before the 2 Zerglings are across the map. So it's going to be very difficult to scout for both players here. And I'm curious to see what both players get. Wow, True only on 16 workers right now against the 20 of Solar.
Well, he got the later spawning pool, so later inject, and he's also gone for 2 more lings. So that's probably where some of those workers are being hidden from. But he's got 5 in production now, so that'll catch him up nicely. Meanwhile, both players getting that scouting information, essential knowledge to see what's coming on down, but actually denied by True. So Solar has no idea how many gases or anything else like that. And he's going to be trying to do the same now, trying to stop True getting in. But with 4 lings coming across the map, it's going to be a lot harder to snipe those all off.
Yeah, definitely. But I think with all those queens down there, he should not be able to get into the main base for sure. Might be able to, I guess, like you said, get a drone or something like that. We see creep threat being started for Solar right now. 3rd queen on the way for True as well. So he wants to get that. Wow, actually a ling makes it into the base of True right now. Does get picked up. What did True see here?
I believe he definitely saw the spawning pool, didn't see the gas though, and that's unfortunate. If he saw whether or not that gas was still mining, it tells you a lot of stuff. But an attempt now by True to come on in. He sees that, he's got speed, so obviously that's being revealed now to Solar, who's using some great stop command on those drones trying to prevent it, but 1 ling manages to get on in, but sees the shimmering of the spawning pool, no speed's on its way. Otherwise, no gases either, so both of these two quite limited on information.
Yeah, and we see a bunch of lanes being produced right now because Solar is completely in the dark. Did not know even that there was speed before True showed it, so just gonna get a bunch of links out. Might try to be a little bit aggressive, get a cancel on the 3rd. Maybe test if True has a baning nest or if he has some links. Maybe try to snipe a queen or 2. True on the other hand is getting a full wall with the baning nest and with the Evo chamber. So actually the double Evo chamber here by True. So do you think he'll be going into melee upgrades, or do you think it still will be for roach upgrades?
Well, considering the baning nest, we may see the melee upgrades, but it's a little bit late for that. But moving across the map now with these speedlings, not going to get much work done most likely, just because of this complete wall now coming down with the Evo chambers. You might try and snipe one. There's only queens there at the moment. Importantly, also sees the baning nest is only in construction now, so he may have or could have been potentially a bit more aggressive with those lings, but instead just backing away and securing up a 3rd base.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he will be able to keep it. He does not have a baning nest himself. He will need to defend it with those 4 roaches that are about to move. Oh, good little micro move there by True. Trying to wrap around the links of Solar, but Solar saw through it and just went back quickly. Now needs to get those roaches to his 3rd base as quickly as possible. The creep threat will help with that. So good job there by Solar, already anticipating this move.
Couple of banelings morphing in now for True. That can be a bit of a problem for Solar because he currently only has Zerglings. He's getting a few roaches out though, and that's definitely going to help him with this situation, but it's a way off as of yet. Both players going for their +1 missile attack. It's pretty similar in terms of timing. Ooh, good little snipe on that baby. Picked up.
Yeah, good little focus fire there by Solar, and he should be completely fine right now. 3 more roaches on the way, as well as the +1 attack. Roadhorn going down for True right now as well as the +1 attack. So we're going to see a rotor approach once again. 3rd base on the way for True, even though it's a little bit delayed compared to the one of Solar. Solar in a pretty good position, I would say, this game, once again.
Yeah, he's getting himself in a much stronger spot than he did in the first game, and getting that 3rd base up earlier is definitely helping. I mean, he wasn't as invested in the early game as he was in Game 1 either. In Game 1, if you think about it, he'd never got speed down. He just went all for that +1 roach move out and could never really go for it. So obviously this is better for him compared to that. Few lings coming down the bottom. This could actually force a cancel of the 3rd base because all the units are out of position, but as a result, the 3rd base of his opponent could also get taken out.
I think there's too many roaches for True to be able to do that. So, actually, I guess with the 2 transfuses on that Queen, True would have been able to save it in the end. But it's only 3 roaches, so not that many. Might be able to just surround it, but decides not to. And in the end, was the good decision, as it was 6 roaches in total. Yep. So good read there by both players.
Solar taking a very, very small supply lead, but it's fractional 3 drones. Nothing really to write home about, but what is quite important is Solar does have his 3rd base already saturated, whereas True doesn't yet. And what that means is that the income per worker is going to be slightly higher for Solar compared to that of his opponent for a little bit of time. And it's actually becoming quite a large amount of time as there's still not any drones over that third base of True.
Yeah, definitely. Solar is going to try to go for a little +1 timing as his +1 is about to finish right now. And he has a decent amount of roaches. Oh, nice little run by once again from True. The moment he saw Solar move out, they're like, okay, now it's time for my Lynx to do some work. Gets 2 drones. Even though it isn't much, it is something at least. So Solar decides to move back and try to catch those Lynx out of position. I think he will be able to get him with those roaches.
Yeah, he should be fine. No escape there. The roaches just in a very good position. Some are going to get away, but quite a few losses in order to retreat out of there.
Yeah, not that big of a deal though to lose 10-15 Lynx. And we see the +2 for Solar being started right now. Carapace just finished for True, so he's on 1-1 against the +1. Would like to see +2 being started for True as soon as possible as well. And a few drones being added would not be a bad choice either, I feel like. 46 workers right now for True against the 52 of Solar. Solar's adding 8 more right now. And I'm very curious to see what True is about to do. Is he planning on a move out? He's building 2 banelings right now, and he does have a bunch of roaches moving across the map, so he might be planning on actually moving out.
He may have to pull back though, because this is a lot of speedlings moving on towards the third base of True. So yeah, True's roaches having to come back in order to just aid with the defense of his third. And this buys a nice bit of time for Solar, who's getting the +2 missile attack through. He's also pumping out more roaches, but he's now taken quite a decisive lead in terms of the workers, 60 to 46.
Yeah, and I feel like True really needs to make something work very quick. We see 2 banelings being there at the top. We'll try to go during the fight, I guess. Go try to get some drone kills. But even then, if he gets the drone kills, it will just equal up. He needs to do damage with this push.
Army supply, 127 to 119 in True's favor. Big baneling hit. 9 drones go down, and he said he needed to do something big, and I'd argue that was big enough.
Yeah, that definitely was a big move right there from True. Now it's going to be a roach battle once again. Good position for True at the start. There's a bunch of roaches for Solar still moving around behind it. Very similar concave actually, but it seems like Solar is going to be the winner of this battle. Does have enough roaches with the reinforcements there as well, and he's taking a lead by about 25 supply right now. This is looking very, very good for Solar.
Yeah, forcing True away. He's up by that kind of 30-odd army supply now. He's got the +2 on its way as well.
Oh, it doesn't have
no
roach speed?
This is disastrous for True without roach speed. All of these roaches are going to get picked off on their way across the map. Really all True can do is to try and buy himself some time.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that was part of the plan or if he only now realized like we did. I think maybe he wanted to hit a very sharp timing without roach speed and have a lot of units out, but that did not work and he was very all in with it. And now Solar's just going to move over and be like, alright True, you won the first one, but now it's my turn to take the game, and he's going to tie up the series.
Yeah, I don't want to sound too defeatist, but look at the army supply, 117 to 67, +2 done up against 1-1. Good concave though for True, trying to make something work here. Best engagement angle he could really hope for, but just sheer volume is in Solar's favor, and I feel it's going to be too much for True to overcome.
Yeah, I do believe so, and I would not be surprised here. GG, here we go. Solar take game number 2 and ties up the series. And I'm very curious to see how this series will move on.
Yeah, game number 1, it really looked quite dominating from True. He just seemed on top of everything. He was putting off a few flashy moves. Obviously, the Overseer's game that contaminates and the Changeling blocks and that sort of stuff. Game number 2, though, Solar just stepped it up. He had good harassment coming on through, really keeping True on his toes about where he's having to fend, preventing him from moving out, just macroing nicely, making good decisions on when to take that third base, etc. So overall, really impressive by Solar there. And this is, well, definitely looking to be a very close semi-final, just as the first one was.
Yeah, and let's take a look at the maps once again, as we did see that the Expedition Lost is going to be the 3rd map right now. After it's going to be Echo and Coda. Expedition Lost is one of those maps where there's a gold, and the gold's at a very central location. It is in the middle, and it means that we saw Hydra take the gold earlier. We saw a lot of players take the gold, and the guy that takes the gold has to really stand with the gold. You can't lose the gold, and if you're behind, you most likely will, because it's a difficult location to defend.
Yep.
And it's very close to your opponent's base, so his timings are going to be very sharp. And I think a lot of the game is going to be around that gold base.
The gold base, though, can be hugely advantageous. If you get there and you mount a strong attack from it, getting a spine crawler of that gold as well in ZVZ is hugely important, especially if we're going into a roach-on-roach engagement. We saw that with Jaedong, of course, in the previous game up against Hydra. Hydra got that gold base, got the spine crawler there, and as a result, JD had a bit of a tough time trying to come in and take it out. But we'll wait and see what these two do have in store. Of course, tied 1-1, there's a lot of pressure. They'll have this game, they then get a small break, compose themselves, have a think about how things are going. So winning the game before getting obviously that small break is absolutely vital for you, because it gives you that confidence. You know you've got your opponent on match point, you've got to just get one win. You can really have a good think about that fourth game. Yeah,
definitely. And I'm very curious if we're going to see something aggressive, because so far the games have been very, very passive from the start on, both going hedge first, just being like, well, let's go into the long game. And true, I guess he did kind of an all-in this game, but it's still no real Link Bane wars like we're used to seeing. Not too much struggle around the third base either. So I'm very curious if we're going to see passive play from both players once again in map number 3.
Well, we should be getting loaded into it soon. Of course, we'd love to know what you think at home. You can join the conversation on Twitter, hashtag SC2Masters, and of course at Gfinity. Or if you're nearby, come and check on down, gfinity.net/tickets.
Ooh.
I don't think you can make it here in time now, though. Do you reckon?
If you live very close.
If you live very close. But if you live very close, wouldn't you be here anyway?
It's a good question. Maybe they didn't know that it was this close. It's in London, of course.
It is in London.
Anyone in London, be sure to drop by. We're already quite packed, actually.
Yeah, look at Stefano. He just popped on by.
Yeah, he just popped on by. He lives here. So yeah, we are loading in map number 3 of our series, Solar versus True, tied up right now, and in the right top corner, spawning as the Red Zerg, playing for Team Samsung Galaxy. It is Solar.
And down to the lower left, the blue Zerg. He plays for Dead Pixels, none other than True. One.
And I really would like to... Oh, True. No. I was hoping for him to go over 100 minerals, but I got a little too excited too quickly. Maybe Solar. No, also getting the Overlord, once again going for the extractor trick. So it seems to be something stylistic for the player. Live loved to do it before, but not sure if he still does. Okay, here we go, extractor trick, 11 out of 10. And seems to be one of the more standard games once again. So we're going to be, I would be surprised to see anything but Roach versus Roach on this map. Yeah,
it's very, very standard here. As you said, the gold base is probably going to be the most important thing. Hopefully that Tastelope will be a bit more out the way than he was in the game on here between Hydra and JD.
Yeah, poor guy. Right, call in the middle. And yeah, another thing to keep in mind, if you play Muta on this map, it's very difficult to play it, to keep some kind of Roach baning buzz just because of the back rock. So you need to be able to defend with spines on 2 locations, and that's not one of the easy things in life. But actually opening with pool first, so playing say 15 pool on both sides. And yeah, realizing that they've been playing gritty earlier on the 4-player maps, just taking it back a notch.
Both players being relatively safe in this map makes sense as well, because you don't want to lose the third game when you tied 1-1 in a best of 5, because then the pressure really does mount. You know that you have to win game 4 or you're eliminated from the tournament and get a 3rd, 4th finish. Both though going into their hatcheries off the back of this, it's still very, very normal things from both of them. And as with the previous games, the gas timings are really going to be telling on what kind of plans they've got in the mid-game. So for Solar, he's getting it down nice and early. So he's going to be looking to probably get Zergling speed a bit quicker. May go straight up into Roaches again, but I don't think he will. I think he'll grab speed down just to get the map control, just to get the poking and prodding and a little bit of scouting out.
Yeah, definitely. We don't see a gas for True as of yet. Might still get it a little bit later, but might also be going into the gas. We haven't seen any gas display in this series yet. Both games... Both players went for gas, even though Solar skipped the speed in game number 1. I'm very curious to see what True is going to do. See first queen being produced right now. Overlord just trying to get a scout off, but against Poolford it's very difficult to not get killed by a queen. Wanna pay close attention to the ramp though to see what's coming down, whether they be drones or links, and have a good idea of what kind of drone count your opponent is on.
These Overlords getting a bit of information. Got to be careful with those Overlords. Send them in too close, they will get picked off. Solar's queen marching over there, hoping for the opportunity, but not going to be able to get a kill there. Otherwise, just a couple of lings on both sides, pushing on out. We do have the gas still not taken by True, though. This is quite interesting.
Yeah, so he's starting a 3rd queen, I believe, right now, and he's going to go most likely up to 4 queens in total and take double gas later on. This will delay his 3rd base a little bit, because he won't be able to defend it without speed. or banelings. So Solar probably will get an earlier third base, but it does give you this initial eco boost. So a 2-base timing with roaches, for example, would be a very strong thing coming out of True.
Interestingly enough from Solar, he's not starting up Zergling speed again. This is the same as he did in game number 1. He just skipped it, went into the lair quickly in order to go for those roaches. And with the information that he gets from this Zergling, he's not going to be able to tell too much. He doesn't get any gases, and that's really what he would have been hoping to find out about.
Yeah, definitely. He did see 3 queens, however.
Yeah, that's a good tell, actually.
So he might be able to think, well, I guess he's playing gasless right now. Double gas going down for True, like we said. And 4th queen on the way as well. We'll be having some insane creep spread and probably an Evo Roach Warren wall relatively soon going into that. And Solar will take his 3rd base most likely. Relatively does get the speed this game though. Does not. I guess he realized that it was gasless after seeing the 3 queens. I was like, alright, with speed I can get map control, I can get an earlier 3rd, and it's useless not do it. Oh, actually going for a Roach Warren here. So a little bit surprised there, because he should not be scared of any kind of pressure right now.
I think his plan all along was to get that Roach Warren down there, because he did get speed very, very late. But in terms of what kind of damage he can do with it, it depends, because obviously True, he skipped speed entirely. He's got his own Roach Warren coming on through now. I'll be interested to see timings of when and if these two go for their 3rd bases.
Yeah, definitely. And we're seeing a lair start being started for True right now with his first gas. First 100 gas, he gets the lair, and there's a little bit of a wall, double Evo chamber, single Roach Warren there, so he's most likely going to go into a Roach play. Would be a really good fake though. Imagine getting double Evo chambers and a Roach Warren to play Muta instead. Then lose to a Baneling bust.
Right, 3rd base coming on through from Solar here, so he's going to get the advantage there, and that's thanks to the speed which is just completed for him, as you previously mentioned. It's going to give him the confidence and the map control, having seen True go gasless. Also getting very confident, knowing there's not speed for his opponent, in moving Queen up. We'll get an Overlord, and that's actually a pretty good bonus for him, because without that Overlord, obviously you've got to get 100 extra minerals somewhere, an extra lava down. It's just a bit of a nuisance.
Yeah, this 3rd seems like a little bit of a fake from Solar, as he cut drones relatively early. 36 drones against 42 of True. And I think True is realizing it. He did not see the Roach move across the map. Now he's seeing them. It's like, oh, okay. Guess you're building a lot of units, and I'll have to get some units of my own now as well. It's 40 armor supply against 26 in the favor of Solar. Solar is just going to go straight for the throat, and I don't think this will be able to do too much, as there is a couple of transfusers, there's 4 queens, and there's a nice little choke, so Lynx won't be able to wrap around the roaches, and I feel like True is going to be in a great position after this. Even build more drones during this. How many transfusers is there left? 0, but I feel like he's going to be fine with the reinforcements.
Yeah, with the reinforcements, but what Solar's doing is he's keeping True stuck back at home, basically, and as a result, the 3rd base of Solar is able to go up uncontested. The best defense is a good offense, so you say, and it also means that True is further delayed in getting his own 3rd. That's all positive. The only risk is True does now have an advantage in the army supply, so a counterattack is possible.
Yeah, as well that he has a bit of a worker lead. Oh, actually good little move here by Solar. He's going for the queen with the trenches. Will be able to get it and run off after that. So nice move, and True will be stuck on 3 queens after this, so won't be continuing creep spreading too much with new tumors. Here go the links of Solar trying to get into the natural. Nice little block there by True, and Solar will just go back home. Maybe roam around the middle a little bit.
Lair coming on through. Looking quite nice here for Solar. He's got the, obviously, +1 missile attack coming out. And this is a big lead in that missile attack upgrade. We shouldn't underestimate that for Solar. Actually, I take that back. True's already finished it. Never mind.
Yeah, True is very quick with the upgrades today, and would not be surprised to see +2 being started soon, as well as the Carapace upgrade, as he does have the double Evo chambers. One might just be for the wall though, and he won't be resourcing from that one at all. Glio Reconstitution about to finish, and it just started for Solar, so speed roaches against non-speed roaches will be able to maneuver around the map with a lot more ease, I would say. And True actually got himself a nice supply lead after defending that initial pressure from Solar. It's up about 22 army supply right now, and with speed finished, as well as equal upgrades. I think this is a good situation for True right now. Little run by not doing too much here. Does not get the queen, does not get any drones, I do believe. And this is a very good situation for True, and he's in a great position right now. Great concave here, and Solar needs to move back up, or he will just lose this fight straight up. You can't really move down into this concave, Solar. I don't think so.
He's going for it though, he wants to try and get it, but there's a lot of roaches there for True, and Solar's army supply is just plummeting at the moment. Going down into that concave, And True can't believe his luck with this. He's pushing forward, taking out the queens. GG, and True is going to take the lead in this series 2-1. And that means he needs just one further victory
Wow, look
to
how happy
advance
he
into the
looks.
finals.
He's very happy with that win. And
Well, he probably can't believe his luck. It's just like True just set up, going a nice concave, and Solar walked into him.
yeah, I guess Solar did not really have a choice because he was in between the natural and the third base, and there was the risk of a few roaches being sent to the third base. True did also have the supply lead, and with equal upgrades, I guess what really won him in this situation was the roach speed, because Solar was not able to move quickly enough between the main base and kind of that area between the natural and the third. And it's a very difficult map to defend on, just because of that back rock mechanic.
Well, very nice work by True. That means that he is now 2-1 up, needs just one more win to advance into the finals. It's going to be game number 4 on Echo, and we'll see if he can do it after this quick commercial break.
Trace of the night on the way back down from the sky where you left my soul. Can you help me fly? I can't resist, 'cause you have got a hold on me. And all these thoughts, when you are here, you light up the dark sides. To live in the night shine, you take my life and light every side. You fade the dark inside. The living light shines. Feeling's gone and I am left alone with a trace of the night on the way back down from the sky where you left my soul. Can you help me fly? I can't resist, 'cause you have got a hold on me. And all these thoughts, when you are here, you light up the dark sides. To live in the night shine, you take my life and light every side. You fade the dark inside. The living light shines. The living light shines.
Welcome back to the Gfinity Spring Masters. It's the semi-finals live here from London, England. I'm Maddles, with me is Harstam, and we're about to go into game number 4 of this second semi-final. It's going to be on Echo, and True is just one win away from making it into the finals up against Hart. Can he do it?
Against Solar, you mean?
No, he'll be, if he makes it through, he'll be up against Hart in the finals.
Hydra.
Hydra. Brain dead.
Nice try, though. Yeah.
Nice try, Dan.
Next map is going to be Echo, and this is the map that True might be able to finish it on. True has been showing that he's actually a very solid player. I really underestimate him. When I think of True, think of the guy that's very aggressive. We saw him play against Bunny. We saw him do a lot of timing pushes, very low drone count, and also in this matchup, he's been on a relatively low drone count most of the time. He doesn't like going to 60, 63. We see Solar sometimes going up there, but True is like, well, I'm fine with my 50 drones, my 46 drones, whatever it is. And he seems to be fine just getting a bigger army than his opponent. And last game, Solar attacked into him with a very low drone count, and True was like, well, I have units as well. I have 4 queens with transfuses. What you gonna do?
Look at that smile at the end of it as well.
Yeah, he was very glad with that win.
Well, you would be glad in the win. You're one win away from making it into the finals. It puts all the pressure onto your opponent, because now it's really up to Solar. He has to win this to force that 5th game. And basically, if he loses now, he's got the 3rd, 4th finish, which is very respectable when you've got a bracket like is here at the Gfinity Masters. But still, that trophy, those WCS points, the money, Harstam, that's what you really want getting in that finals. Definitely
is. So let's hop straight into this game. 2-1 in favor of True, and in the right bottom corner, spawning as the red Zerg, it is our Samsung Galaxy Solar!
And up in the top left, playing for Dead Pixels, 1 win away from advancing to the finals. It is none other than True.
Yeah, we should not forget that if you're on match point, you're about to, next map could be your death. You start playing a little nervous. You start playing maybe more safe than you normally would. Don't cut as many corners. At least that's what I would do. You don't want to go out against a player that you might consider inferior to you. So I'm very curious to see what Solar is gonna do. Does he have the cojones to do something aggressive, especially on a map with a ramp this small? What I think is going to happen is that we're going to see a rather passive game from Solar. We're going to see what he did in Game 1. Game 1 was going pretty well for him, actually, up until the point where he lost a bunch of roads for free because there was changelings. And we see True actually with the safe play. And well, both of them going with the pool first. 14 pool for True, 15 pool for Solar. So both of them not taking any risk here. And they'll be going into a hatchery after this, and only then the deviations will start going on, whether it be gas or gasless, like we saw last game from True.
There's the other train of thought, though, as well. If you are on match point, yes, you can be defensive, yes, you can be very cautious, play it safe and stuff like that. Or you get other players who are just like, yep, let's go for it. Let's go all in and hope for the best. And both of them can have merit, and that's very possibly why we're seeing True be cautious as well. He's just saying, hey, I'm a map up. I think I've played game 1 and 3 really solid. I think I won a more drawn-out game, so I just don't want to lose to something silly early on, something like a 9 pool. So this is good start for us. It's a good start for us as the viewers. Solar grabs up his gas as well, so he's going to be looking to get the earlier speed as we saw him do in the last game as well. Do you reckon True's going to go gasless again for quite a long period of time, or do you reckon he's got to get speed down on Echo?
It is very well possible on this map, actually, because the ramp is so small. You can wall off with 2 Eevers and a Roach Warren and a Queen in between, and you have a great wall off once again, similar to Expedition Lost. So he might just be wanting to do that. We don't see any gas yet, so I think that's what he will be going into. It will be very big for Solar to be able to scout it, but with the pool first, it's very difficult to scout gases normally. And he will have to trust his Zerglings to do some work. But so far, True in the past games has been very good at denying those.
Straight away True as well, moving his Queen down just to force away Solar's Overlord, preventing getting any scouting information, prevent any risk of getting scouting information. So that's a nice touch coming through from True. He's done it in most of the games, so really nice things there. Speed started up for Solar, who has cut drones out of gas, so he's only getting down that Zergling speed. He's going to continue to be droning as well behind this. He's got a couple more lings, 2 ships passing in the night in the center there. They don't want to say anything to each other. Instead, just wanting to try and get that information. See the gases, but you're 100% on the money, Harstam. When you do have pools first on both sides, it's very unlikely you're going to be able to get the lings in.
Yeah, well, actually it seems like both players will be able to get at least 1 ling in, and this is the biggest for Solar. Because, oh, no! Wait.
He didn't see it.
I think he only saw one gas in the end. I don't think he saw the other one. Nah, he could know though that he didn't see any drones, but I don't think he was paying attention because he was attacking a hatchery. So very curious. Little bit of a mistake there by Solar. Don't think he was anticipating that. Well, Solar not taking any half measures here is like out.
He did say please though.
Yeah, please. He's a polite boy for sure.
I've had a certain player be less polite to me when I was casting WCS and we had a stream lag. That was a good day. Anyway, we are just chilling here. A couple of links coming on through, but as you said, no drones were seen on the gases, so it's more likely that you can assume that Solar understood that there wasn't going to be anything coming through there. Third base though coming on through from Solar, so he's going to be getting that quick third out. Do you think he's going to be
Game paused.
looking to put on pressure, or just get the map control just to be completely safe with that speed?
Nah, I feel like we're going to.
Game resumed.
Don't see too much pressure from Solar coming out. We're just going to see a third base earlier than True has. He might build 10 to 14 links to cancel the third base of True, but it's a relatively close distance between the natural and the third on this map. So Queens will be able to cover the ground pretty quickly with a creep spread. And once there's 4 Queens defending a fourth base, the 10 links don't really do too much.
Spinecaller now finishing up back at home for True, who was maybe just being a little bit cautious, knowing that he did start without those gases, didn't want to get caught off guard by some speedlings or any bailing action coming on through. So that's quite a nice move there by True. Does he know about the third base though? I'm not sure if he scouted it.
Yeah, not too sure either. We see speed being researched for True right now. Not going into road. Wow, the 3 Queen ramp block. You don't see this all too often. And there's only a bunch of links out on the map right now. Spine being moved forward as well. So pretty solid defense so far for True. He will be able to wall with buildings if he deems that necessary here. 2 more gases coming out for him as well. So this might be a map where we might be seeing Mutas. We don't see any Evo chambers down yet. We don't see a Roach Horn yet.
The only thing that says it's not going to be going into Mutalisk is there's no fourth gas.
Yeah, there's only 3 gas.
Bailiness is interesting, but you'd expect to see a Roach Run if there's only 3 gases here, and you haven't had Zergling speed or anything like that. So we'll wait and see if that is something True goes for. He is pumping out quite a few Zerglings now, may look to try and put on some pressure. If he has seen that third base, obviously he's going to want to cause some difficulties there, but Solar just coming straight in, he prevents that third base for even longer, and as a result, he's just getting a nice economic lead.
Yeah, and True has been doing something pretty cool with his Queens. He did not creep spread too much to have a few transfuses saved up in case it was some kind of pressure build, but that resulted into him not having the best creep spread. Only 1 creep tremor out right now. Oh, wow.
Good scout. This is really important.
Oh, this is an amazing scout. Wow. He did not go. He kind of, once he thinks, okay, I don't think I can get anywhere, kind of just abandons the link. But both times he actually was able, would have been able to see what True was up to. And big swell of links moving across the map right now. Overlord spotted for Solar. Has a bunch of roaches out already, and I feel like he should be able to defend this third base relatively comfortably.
Yeah, there's already a good number of roaches, more lings and roaches coming on through as well. Going to be trying to go up into the natural base, does get a good amount of surface area on the Zerglings of Solar, which were far inferior in numbers, and will go straight into the main base to try and get some damage out. The roaches not going to be able to keep up with this raid with the metabolic boost on the lings, but for the moment, not too many drones getting picked off, not a single one yet actually. So this is nice for True. He's buying himself some time, but he's not going to be feeling too happy when he sees just how many roaches are there for Solar.
Yeah, 3 drones already down though, and a lot more links on the way. Will he be able to get the third base? I don't think Solar's paying attention there right now. Lots more links moving across the map, and I think he will be able to get this third base, will he?
There's a couple of links coming over. It's certainly going to be close, and that could be a big problem if it does go down, but it looks like Solar will just be able to save that. And now it's True who has to be cautious, because there's a big clump of roaches heading on over. He's going to go for the third again, and now may be able to get it if he gets the surface area. It's going to be close, and just gets it picked off, and that makes it worthwhile for True, because he was a long way behind on his own third, but picking that off instantly puts him ahead. Yeah,
this also is a pretty dangerous situation for True, though. He has 40 army supply right now, and a lot of it is still in larva right now, or in the eggs. Does move the spike roll down, does not burrow. There's a lot of queens with transfuse, but it feels like Solar has so many roaches here right now. A few banelings hitting the roaches. Will it be enough? Transfuses going down on the roaches. Army supply 40 against 46 right now. 9 in production for True. Spike roller gets transfused one last time before it dies, and I feel like True will just be able to hold by the skin of his teeth.
He should be able to with the Roach reinforcements, but my goodness, that was close. Getting the third base picked off, though, was a big bonus for True. He sacrificed a lot of the Zerglings and able to do that, which made that hold very sketchy. But he should be able to hold this off now. There's not that many Roaches. Defender's advantages we've harped on about throughout this series in Roach-on-Roach fights is hugely important. Upgrade-wise, slight bonus for Solo. He does have the +2 coming through, but +1 finishing up for True in just under 5 seconds.
It's very funny, even after doing a little bit of damage to Solar, True still doesn't really want to get up to the drones after defending his push. Like, well, kind of fine as I am right now. He's starting carapace upgrades, layers halfway done, so he can't start at +2 attack yet. Neither can he start the Glio Reconstitution. Here comes a little counter attack by Solar actually. Good counter attack here, and he's going for the queen, not going for the third like True did in the just before here, and does not get the queen, decides to move back. Nice little counter-attack spot. I really like this. The moment your opponent moves out, just move in with a bunch of links. You will never be able to catch the match. Zerg has nothing that's quicker than links.
Exactly, and while he didn't get the queen, he forced all of the Roaches back. That means that Solar maintains a good amount of safety. He's able to squeeze out a few more drones, and I say a few more, he's just gone for 10 drones there as his third base recompletes. So this means that Solar is going to get another big swell in the economy. He's got the +2 about halfway done, and note the +2 missile attack hasn't finished for True. Is that going to be a problem for him?
It hasn't even started yet for True. +2 attack. He's going to have a huge timing where there's +2 attack against just 1-1 for True, and 1 carapace might seem cool, but +2 is way, way better than the carapace upgrade. So we might see Solar trying to do some pushes. On the other hand, we do see True with a kind of big army supply lead as we speak. Solar adding on a few more drones even now, going up to 60 through and throwing down the Hydra. Then this is the first time we've seen anything but a Roach Warren and a Baneling Nest in this series. So I'm glad that we will be able to see some of those guys as well.
Yet again, we've got these Speedlings being very active out on the map for Solar, just waiting in case True decides to move on out. He can just go for a little run by, try and deal some damage to the drones or the queens of the third base. So very, very nice stuff by Solar. And I've got to say, just while True did really nicely picking off that third base and a great defense, I still feel like Solar just is a bit more in control of this game.
Yeah, definitely. He has the better upgrades. He has he already had he basically was like, all right, I'm in a safe enough position. I stabilized. I can take my 5th gas. I can go up to Hydras. And on the other hand, we see True still on 4 gas. Glio Reconstitution about to finish, but he can't really do anything before his +2 is finished. So I think Solar is going to make a very successful transition into Hydras, whether that be after a push with +2, or he'll just start slowly adding them and start doing run-bys with Roaches to get rid of them.
Quite a large army supply now mounting up here for Solar, and while he does have the Hydra Den finished, he hasn't produced any yet. And while his bank isn't huge, I'd like to see a couple of Hydras coming in, because if you've invested in that Hydra Den, it is going to give you a nice position. But both players, just as we've seen in other games of this series, being very, very passive, sitting back, waiting, really respecting defender's advantage in Roach-on-Roach fights.
Yeah, and we see a first Spinecrawler being added for True right now, so he might be going into an even more passive mode. This map's so difficult to do run-bys on because of the rogues are being down, so there's only one way really into the third, into the natural, and it's the same way, so it's going to be rather difficult. Oh, I love this little trick by Solar here. It's the Spore Crawler trick, which will allow him to go above 200 supply. How many spores will he go up to? Goes up to 11 spore, gets 211 supply, so a little bit of an advantage there, and that basically allows him to get those 13 extra drones without really giving True a big army supply lead.
Yeah, he's also got Hydralisks coming in as well, and with this many Roaches, a few Hydras just sprinkled on the back, and boom, you've got a good DPS increase there. Solar's also grabbing up a 4th base. Another good advantage if he's able to hold it. However, True does get the scout out thanks to that Overseer. Again, just doing a fantastic job with these Overseers. Waiting to see if he goes for another contamination, as he's done so many times this series.
Yeah, and we see True moving out on the map for the first time right now. And he sees the Hydra, like, wow, I don't think I can actually fight that. His +2 isn't finished yet. Going to go for a really good concave here, and this was a very good move here, right there by True. He's getting a lot of free shots off with a big part of Solar's army not attacking at all. We see a big rise in army supply right now for True. Solar not being able to really catch this army right now. Everything finally is attacking for Solar, but is it too late?
He can always retreat out the back as well, True, is exactly what he's doing. Very, very nice engagement. The Hydralists now really bringing in their damage, though. But is there enough Roaches to buffer it?
Yeah, it feels like Solar really got outsmarted here, because he did have the better army, he did have the better upgrades, but in the end it's True that walks away with this well, major victory, I would say, on the battlefield. He might be able to just push on through right now. +2 did finish for him. 30 links on the way, as well as 4 more roaches. It's 2-1 upgrades against 2-1, but 120 arm supply against 86.
This is going to be so difficult for Solo. He does have 16 more roaches in production, but that fight was monumentally good for True. Just able to really, really push home, and it was a little fake back towards the 4th base, and Sola's chain of thought, I believe, was he was planning to split his army to get a really good concave around the 4th base of True, but when True then engaged just one half of the army, Sola was just kind of a bit trapped out of position. And now True pushing on forward, he should be able to pick off this 4th with ease, and as a result gets a 1 base advantage.
Yeah, there's definitely no way that Sola can fight up that ramp, and this is very important because the main is about to run out for both players. True is actually thinking of pushing through. I'm not sure if I agree with this. He does have a slightly bigger army, but there's really no need. It's 4 base against 3 base True, and it's going to be very difficult for Solar to move out of this little area. Moving up a ramp is so extremely difficult in ZVZ, in Roach versus Roach, and True goes for it. Here we go, a little bit of a bigger army for True. 5 Roach in production, and I feel like True might be able to just win this fight.
Yeah, he's got more roaches here. Defender's advantage, of course, is there for Solo. He's got 9 more roaches trickling on through. Tunneling Claws and Burrow is finished for him. He should just have enough to fend off True here, but a very, very close engagement.
Yeah, very close engagement, and a few more reinforcements arriving here for True. Moves forward. Burrow here. Is there an overshare? Yes, even with speed. I think True might be able to do it. Solar is trying to move back, trying to get all of those reinforcements out. Queen joining in the fray as well. Transfuse is going down and just barely helps.
Ridiculously close there, and that was a long engagement as well. Both of these two not quite sure whether they could hold it, whether they could actually push on through, but for the moment True is able to take that fight and he keeps Solar back. This 4th base for Solar is essential. If it goes down, it's probably over for Solar because he doesn't have the economy. The main base, as you mentioned, is pretty much mined out now. Only a few minerals remaining there, so having 3 mining bases compared to 2 is a big difference here. Solar needs to be very cautious, needs to make sure he gets this base up and only take smart engagements.
Yeah, definitely. I would love to see a few Hydras being added in True's armor, or even walk on the map with a Queen just to clear all of those Overlords. It's very difficult to outmaneuver an opponent that has full vision while you don't, because as we know, Solar did build a few Hydras earlier. Supply count's relatively even right now. 130 armor supply against 116. 12 more roaches in production for Solar. True is going to try to walk down this ramp right now. There is overshift there. There's no way for Solar just to burrow. And good concave starting for True. I feel like he has the better concave once again, even though he went down that ramp. Relatively even trade in this game so far. Will True be able to push through?
It's going to be really tough. Over on top side, True does have a better concave, but those reinforcements once again seem to be saving Solar. It's a very, very close fight though. It's going to be tough. A Queen even coming in, a second Queen now, just trying to get as much as possible. And I think Solar should have enough to force True back once again, holding on just by the skin of his teeth. Yeah. And this is
a more decisive window. I feel like Solar really gets a big lead in the game right now. He's been ahead in workers for ages. So every equal trade that they made was in the disadvantage of True, and Solar, finally reaping the benefits of that. And he's ahead in supply by about 30 right now. 20 up in army supply. He might just be able to push through.
We'll see if he is able to. I'm not sure if he can actually end it quite yet. He doesn't. It's 20 army supply, so it is quite nice, but it's in roaches. Good concave here, or trying to get a good concave for True. Spinecrawler moving forward as well, wanting to take this fight, but there's a lot of roaches here for Solar. He's going to be engaging into this, trying to get as much surface area as possible, forcing True to retreat away back. That Spinecrawler getting focused down, he's going to get taken out, but can Solar finish it? More reinforcements coming in for Solar, and it's looking very good.
I think we're going to be going into a game number 5, medals. Solar is trying to take the series all the way. True trying to hold on. The one Spinecrawler doing his work, but it's not going to be enough. Solar is pushing through. This 4th base is going to fall, and this is going to be it.
Game number 5 definitely coming up as Solar just keeps on battling through. There's the GG. And Solar, oh, a little sigh of relief there, and I can't say I blame him, because while on paper, as you said, he had a nice economy, he had a drone lead for quite a while, he lost his 4th base, and then there was quite a few trades where he only just managed to hold it. So, very nice work by Solar, takes it to a game 5, and now the pressure really ramps up for both of these players. It comes down to one map, and one map in ZVZ, that's tense.
Yeah, that's very tense. This game, it felt like Solar was in control for the biggest part of the game up until that amazing engagement there by True in the middle of the map where he kind of tricked Solar to make that surround on his army. It was like, well, you're trying to go for a surround, I'll just attack the one side of your army. And he killed like 10, 15 roaches before the fight even started. Down an upgrade as well there, while the army supplies were equal. And there was Hydras on the map. So great fight by True, but in the end, not enough. And Solar takes the map number 5, which is, by the way, going to be Coda. And as we see, first map did go to True on Cactus Valley, second Iron Fortress. So they've been trading maps equally, and if we keep this pattern up, it's going to be True. But of course, that's not how Starcraft works. So Coda, what do you think of this map, Medals?
I quite like it. It's quite a common map in this map pool. I think we'll be seeing a lot of games on it just generally. That and Echo, they're both really nice. But to be honest, these two just seem so evenly matched. Every single time, the trades are very, very equal. They're both playing really passive, so a part of me seeing them like, oh, come on, one of you do something bold, 9 pool or something. But to be honest, I think they're both going to be playing it relatively safe again. Yeah,
we haven't seen anything too weird yet. No bailing all-ins. We haven't seen any, just a good old regular speedling all-in, or even a good old 9 pool. Or 10 pool bane, whatever. I would like to see something like that, get some more aggressive kind of game, a bit quicker paced. But, well, these two players, they seem both very comfortable in the macro game, and that's what they seem to be going for.
So I've got to ask you, you told me earlier you played quite a bit of Zerg. If you're in Game 5 in a semi-final, would you rather be a PvP or a ZVZ?
So, wait, if I was in the semi-final...
If you were here, if you were these two players, would you rather be a PvP or a ZVZ?
PvP, me, of course.
You reckon less stressful?
Yeah, less stressful.
Okay.
These Link bling wars, man, they seem amazing. Like
they are so tense.
If you're a bit stressed, you shake. I will accidentally blow up
one little
my
shake,
banelings.
all your banelings blow up, and
that has happened before.
Has it?
Yeah, not for me, but I remember Mini Racer against Happy, game number 2 in the final series of the day, and accidentally blows up all of his banelings. Man, that wasn't good times.
That'd be a really sad day.
Yeah, that was quite a sad day, but luckily that hasn't happened to True or Solar here yet. And Solar's going for a little bit of a break, as he's not at his PC right now. And True just chilling around, maybe thinking, what should I do next map? Should I play something gritty? Should I go for something aggressive?
It looks like a very much a pondering face as well there, just looking up, being like, What do you reckon? Do you reckon he will just stay safe? Do you reckon he'll go for...
Yeah, for some reason I don't see True as the kind of guy that goes for the early pool. He likes to do pressures, but he likes to go into them safely. He likes to go into the Ling Bling pressure. He likes to go into some kind of rose, but he does it with a save opener, as Solar is coming back to his seat right now. So he should be hopping into the game relatively soon. I'm really looking forward to this match.
Of course, the winner of this next game goes on to face Hydra in the best of 7 finals. And there's a lot on the line. A lot of prize money, a lot of WCS points, the nice shiny trophy, and... Are you a fan of trophies?
I'm a big fan of trophies. I don't own a lot of the medals. I must be honest with you there. I have a few checks, but I think I own a single trophy. So not a bit, and that's because I played a football tournament once, got 4th place out of 4. So it's not a trophy to brag about.
No.
But these guys, if they get the trophy, they definitely will have a trophy to brag about. And here we see them, True and Solar. And Hydra, like you mentioned, is waiting for them in the final. Solar already beating out Hydra earlier in this tournament in the group stages. So I guess Hydra's kind of praying for it to be True.
Yep. Well, I can see here, I think I see Solar sitting there in the audience. So he's definitely watching the... Hydra sitting in the audience watching this. So I think he's analysing these two, trying to work out what they're doing. But we are in the final game of this second semi-final here at the Gfinity Spring Masters. And spawning down in the lower right-hand position, playing for Dead Pixels, it is the blue Zerg, True. And up to the top left-hand spot, we've got the red Zerg player playing for Samsung Galaxy Calm, winning the last map, bringing it to this 5th and final deciding game. We have Solar. Looking very collected there, very focused. Both of these two being fairly passive in the game so far, both favouring going into that roach-on-roach composition most of the time. Think we'll get that again here on Coda, Austin?
Yeah, I think so. They both shown to love the roach. They both seem to love going into longer games as well, because none of them are starting with an early pool. One's getting a little bit disappointed. I was kind of hoping for the 9 pool or the 10 pool bane, see some action early on, and then if it goes into a longer game, well, so be it. But now we're going to go into a more similar game that we've seen earlier. I think both players will open hatch first. It's the final game, and you got to show that you're the boss. You got to show dominance, and nothing shows dominance quite like a hatch first.
Hatch first into gas.
Yeah, and
Throw caution to the wind.
go up to 16 drones, even though you don't really need them. Then throw down your pool in vision of your opponent's overlord to show how cool you really are.
So in your mind, has True won this anyway now? Just he's gone Hatch first up against the pool first. He's shown his control.
We at least we know who the dominant guy is in this.
Well, Hatch first, of course, up against the pool first. It's not the biggest difference in the world. The pool first gives you the queen, gives you the inject. The Hatch first obviously gives you the hatchery. So it's not the biggest variation, although True going straight into that gas actually. So this does mean that he gets a slightly later queen, slightly later inject, but it does give him the option of getting the Zergling speed down quicker.
Yeah, it also means that he won't be able to deny scouting. So that's a nice little bonus that Solar gets. He does get the queen earlier. He will be able to push out the overlord. And True on the other hand won't be able to do that because, well, he's getting a very late pool. He also won't be able to deny the Zergling scout into his main base. So Solar is going to get more information, but he will be a little bit behind in eco.
Now, it's worth noting about that scouting information because in every game this series, both players have sent a couple of Zerglings across the map to get that gas information, know when that's coming through, and it's the queens that generally stop that. So by getting the spawning pool quite a bit later for True here, he may not be able to prevent those Zerglings coming on in if he doesn't have the queens out. The queen's just popping now for Solar. He's got another one on the way already, and he's going to be able to get the inject, being able to force away the overlord. But all in all, both of these two just waiting down. Interestingly, True has stopped gas mining, but okay, now he starts speed. That's fine. Okay, so just getting speed down, cuts the drones out of gas, and transitions into normal play.
Yeah, I want to get back into that bigger mineral income right there to be able to afford all the drones that you really need as a Zerg, of course. And so there's going to be, as both of them are playing gas, Solar is aware of that, and True not so much as of yet. We see 2 more queens in production for True right now, so he will be starting to get those injects going relatively soon as well. Solar trying to scare away the overlord that is floating behind the natural minerals of himself. So yeah, we see 12 links in production. This is the first time we've seen an aggressive move like this, and Solar should be able to see those links. Let's see if True tries to hide them.
He's going to take those queens way forward because he needs to hide it. He's going to be committing an awful lot to these speedlings, and if just one of those Zerglings spots them, it gives away a lot of the information. The Zergling's trying to go up. Solar, can he get in? He sees a couple. Is that enough to make his spidey sense tingle?
Yeah, we see a few more links in production. However, there's no Baneling Nest. And, Baneling Nest is going down just now. Crypture being thrown down as well by Solar. And he should get the queen from the main down as well relatively soon. Speed not finished yet for him. 16 more links on the way right now for True. True is down 7 workers, so he needs to do something with the speedling attack. Speed is about to finish in a few seconds. Here we go. First 6 links moving in. Get gridded by, wow, a bunch of links already for Solar right there. So it seems like Solar is going to be fine for the earlier stages at least. There's no Baneling Nest behind. It's just going to be a big swell of Zerglings, and speed finish for Solar right now as well, so I feel like he's going to be in a good position to hold this.
Yeah, once that Baneling Nest is done, he gets a couple of Banelings out. Great positioning on the queens, great positioning on the speedlings, preventing True from really getting any work done. And as you mentioned, he's already down, does get the surround on the queen. That's quite nice. One of those getting picked off, and he's going to take the fight. He needs to do something because he is down in those workers, but can he do enough?
Yeah, amazing at the same time. True actually did get 2 overlords with the queens on the map, getting a decent trade here. Did get the queen, does get the queen in the end, but the big thing, I guess, was the 2 overlords that he got for free in the end. He won't be able to do too much with those 3 Zerglings left. 16 more Zerglings on the way for Solar. Only 8 more being produced right now for True. And mineral income is going to be relatively equal as it's 28 workers against 27. And 1 gas being taken for both players as well. So a very equal game. Baneling Nest being thrown down right now by True. I guess it's just a safety measure. And a spine went up as well, if I believe.
Well, you've got to be careful. You've got to get down that Baneling Nest because if your opponent's got Banelings and you've only got the speedlings, you're going to have a very tough time trying to defend against that. Already a couple more things straight in front of the rest of those lings, but Solar does have the advantage here. True needs to be very cautious. His focus fire with the queens and the spines onto those Banelings has to be right on the money. But at the moment, 19 to 11 army supply.
Yeah, 19 to 11 armor supply. Here come the 4 Banelings, but there is a Spine Crawler. There is a bunch of transfuses as well, so if True controls well, he should not die against it. And maybe to take a few Ling losses, but not more than that, I would say.
Solar just pulling back at the moment. Those 4 Banelings still staying forward, but there we go. Overlord coming on out. Third base for Solar is going to be on its way down. He's also getting the Roach Warren and the Evo Chamber, and he's going to be able to sneak a Speedling in, which gets him a lot of very important scouting information.
Yeah, definitely. Does see that there's no guesses yet at the natural. Does he know that there's no third base? No. Also, it's going to be very difficult to see if there's going to be a third base or not, because he lost a bunch of his overlords on the map, so his vision is way less than Truce's right now. There's a bunch of Lynx and Banelings at home, and I'm not sure what Solar is planning on doing with them. Does he want to stay on his side of the map? Does he want to threaten a bit? Maybe try to force some units out of True? True, however, isn't being forced into anything. He's building 5 more drones, going up to 40 drones right now. Let's see what Solar has planned for us. Oh, there's 8 roaches. And there's a defensive Spinecrawler against the run-by that he's afraid of. So it's going to be some kind of Roach Bane bus here, I believe.
Well, more than anything else, Solar's got that third base up, so he knows that he's in quite a nice spot there, but there's always the risk of counter-aggression coming on through. Third base just getting started up for True, as well as he grabs a couple or a single more gas. But yeah, Roach is coming on out, Baneling's already here. There's the third base timing from Solar, so he knows that True's just dropped it down, he knows that he's ahead there.
This Link could be a hero. Is it going to be the hero? Yes, he sees the roaches. Really big scout there by True. Starts producing 8 roaches immediately. That could have been 8 drones as well, Medals. And then he would have been in a lot of trouble. He should get some Banelings as well. He knows that Solar does have a Baneling nest. True, where are your Banelings at? Oh, first 2 Banelings moving down the ramp already for Solar. Very poor connections there, so good micro by True so far. Not losing a lot of links against this actually. Very surprised. Really, really good micro. Bunch of transfuses ready here as well, as his first roaches pop. Might lose his third base though, and that would be a small win for Solar. He's going for a counter-attack actually with the links. Wow, great plays here by True, and I think he will be able to defend just fine, but he did need to cancel his third base.
Now, if that third base does go down, as it has for True, he's now at a disadvantage because it's 3 bases to 2. He needs to try and get some work done, but can he really do anything? Solar's got a lot of roaches, a lot of Banelings. He's also getting the +1 through, and his work account's up. Is this just all plain sailing now for Solar, or does True have some advantages after?
Yeah, he has a bigger army, and he should be using it soon, I feel like. He has 56 armies flying against 40. +1 is already on the way for Solar. Solar's producing drones. If True would have decided to attack right now, I think Solar would have been in a little bit of trouble. But on the other hand, True isn't attacking, so good call there by Solar, getting the lair and the +1. So he's going to be ahead in upgrades. He's ahead in workers, has been ahead in workers for quite some time right now. Has a little squad of Zerglings still alive, so we will be able to do those counterattacks the moment that True moves out. And I feel like Solar is in a bit of a lead in this game.
Yeah, Solar's just in a nice spot. He doesn't have that much map vision, or didn't in the earlier stages, because of losing those 2 overlords, which is a bit of a nuisance for him. But now, he's got his third base up, he's got a drone lead, and he's also got an upgrade lead. All very, very nice. His lair's also finished up, so he starts road speed. He's going to have an advantage there as well. It's not all over, though, for True. He's getting his own third up. He's got a good army out on the field. Is Solar actually going to start moving out with this? Is he going to try and get some damage, do you think?
He might try to hit a +1 timing, maybe knowing that True did not have any upgrade started right now, and oh, he's going to try to do a run by with the Banelings while he's either faking an attack or really attacking. And I'm very curious if this is going to work out. It's all going to be about the speed of True here. Does not have an overlord on the left side, I believe. There's a bunch of roaches there, but if Solar moves correctly, yeah, down the bottom, like our observer showed us there, he will be able to get a bunch of drones. Even though True isn't known for building a lot of drones on his third, he might be able to get 5 or 6, and that might just be enough.
It depends whether he is expecting Solar to try and move in here. He sees a couple of Banelings there, he tries to pressure in, but for the moment, True is just holding still. But here comes the Banelings! Instant reaction so from True. Perfect work by him. 2 drones taken out, a couple of lava die, but not really an efficient use of 3 Banelings.
Yeah, not the biggest of deals, right? 2 drones down and you lose 3 Banelings yourself. Maybe get 2 or 3 larvae as well. So good defense there, but really nice reactions. Would not be surprised to see an Overlord being sent there for future Baneling or Ling run-bys. And as there is no Mutas on the map and there's no Hydras on the map either. Trying to deny this Overlord Scout. Will he be able to do it? Yes. Does deny it. Won't get any kind of contamination on his Evos. Had that one too many times happen to him. And +2 about the... well, +1 about to finish for True, and +2 just started for Solar. So it feels like if Solar would have started the +2 immediately, he would have been a little bit further ahead in the upgrades, but he seems to have a little pause in between his upgrades every now and then.
Yeah, he was focused on getting that nice little Baneling run by, trying to make some stuff work there, but it's still an advantage. It may not be as great as it could have been, but he's still got one. Baneling speed also coming on through. Now, we saw this in Jaedong versus Hydra in the first semi-final, and in that, the Banelings weren't really able to swing the tide of the battle very well in these roach-on-roach fights, so it'll be interesting to see if Solar can make them work. Both players staying on 3 bases, both players staying on 59 workers. Just a small army supply lead for Solar overall.
Yeah, I think this is the first time I've seen True actually go above 60 workers in the complete series, so guess there's a first for everything. And he's throwing down the 5th gas as well right now, so he's planning on transitioning into something more high-tech, whether that be Hydras, whether that be Infestors, or his own Baneling speed. Very curious to see. He's starting his own fort base as well as Burrow. And it's Solar that's going to make the first move, moving across the map, morphing in 20 Banelings, and this is a very good move. True, however, spots it immediately.
And that scout is really important. The Overlord, being a bit of a hero, lets him know that there's a lot of Banelings coming, but it also lets him know that Solo has invested a large amount of gas into this push, and if it doesn't work, he may start to struggle. Plus, True knows that he's got a 4th base behind this. If he holds this off, he's going to be in an okay spot, but here comes the trade. Some of those roaches quite far forward. They were looking to try and get a few of the Banelings, which are slowly waddling through, trying to get those connections. There they go. This is Solar pushing on forward. He takes down the Spine Crawler. Good concave though at the moment though for True, and Solar is trying to push through for the victory. Is he going to be able to do it?
Still a bunch of Banelings about to roll in, and this is looking very, very good for Solar. Up in army supply by about 40. Now a lot of that is still in production, +2 about to finish for Solar as well. So here he gets the upgrade lead, and this seems very, very hard for True to hold. Bunch of Spine Crawlers that he did build at the start of the fight just finished, but how's he gonna defend his 3rd base medal?
A couple of roaches are popping on out, but I don't think it's going to be enough. 116 army supply to 54. This is Solar seizing the opportunity, moving in with those Banelings. It was a big commitment, but he's getting a lot of work done. True, of course, fighting till the very last breath because his tournament life is on the line. If he loses here, Solar will advance, and there's the GG. We have our 2nd finalist. Solar is going to be going up against Hydra in the Grand Finals, best of 7, here at the Gfinity Spring Masters.
And what an amazing game to end this semi-final as well. Finally a more aggressive game, a more aggressive move there from Solar, moving in with the 20 Baneling, and just hit the right timing, did not wait for his +2, knew that now was the time to attack, and he did it. Amazing play from Solar.
I've got to say though, both of these semi-finals have said one thing, and that's that all 4 of the semi-finalists here have been incredibly well matched, both going the entire 5 games, both being back and forth the entire time, and both being very, very close until the very end.
Yeah, what an insanely close game. If he gives True, let's say 1 or 2 extra minutes, or even just 30, 45 seconds maybe, the game kind of equals up. There's Spine Crawlers down already. He was maxed. He was going to get Spine Crawlers. He was getting ready for a transition, but Solar did not give him the time, and Solar prepared a little bit earlier, getting that 5th gas a lot earlier than True, allowed him to make all of those Banelings. And a big thing in here as well was that, imagine if True had 4 or 5 links himself ready to build Banelings against this. You get a very different battle, because you have the micro as being Solar with 20 Banelings against 4, and you don't get to just roll in like he did right now. But there was no links on the map for True, so he was not able to get those Banelings, and then you see what happens. It's just a complete walkover. Great game by Solar.
Really, really nicely done, but huge credit to True. Took 2 of those games, and he played astoundingly well, actually. All of the final 4 players here at Gfinity doing awesome stuff, but let's throw it on over to the analysis desk to see what they thought of our 2nd semi-final.
Yeah, well, thanks a lot for that, guys. It was a close series. As you can see, we're already in here. We're all having a great time. We said it was going to be close. You especially said it was going to be close.
Yeah.
It didn't go the way you wanted, though. Obviously, Solar did win. Unfortunately, it wasn't True, but he gave a good account of himself.
I think so. The games were kind of a bit similar at the end because it was always the Roach against Roach fights. But the openings were a little bit different in each and every game, and I just tried to open slightly in another way to try to get a better advantage early on, but it ended up on the exact same composition at the end always, beside the last game. So yeah, very consistent games.
Well, I won't get your thoughts just yet, Ben, because A, they don't really mean a great deal. But the main reason is we've got Banks with another interview, so he's going to be interviewing Solar. Take it away, James.
So, Solar, we are joined with you, ready for the final. You're going to have to take on Hydra, and, well, it's been ZVZ all the way. After all these battles, Zerg, is he feeling confident to take on someone like Hydra?
이제 저그 대 저그를 이기고 또 결승에서 이제 저그 대 저그로 하이드라 선수를 상대해야 되는데 그거에 대해서 어떻게 생각하는지 한번 말씀해 주세요.
그냥 16강에서 한번 해봤는데 동원이 형이랑 저저는 그냥 할만한 것 같아요. 그래서 좀 우승할 수 있을 것 같아요, 충분히. 제가 한번 16강에서 이겨가지고 우승할 수 있을 것 같아요.
So because I faced Hydra before in the round of 16 and I won against him, I feel pretty good in this final against him, and I think my ZVZ is pretty good at the moment, so I will be able to win this tournament.
Now, obviously, looking at the games we've just played against True, he's been doing so well, and better than what I think a lot of people would have thought he would. Was he worried going into this matchup at all, or obviously it went right down to the 5 maps, and I guess he was put under a bit of pressure?
트루 선수랑 이제 경기를 할 때 경기 도중에 뭐 어떻게 하면 질 수도 있겠다 이런 생각도 든 적이 있었나요?
일단 솔직히 태수 형이 너무 잘해가지고 좀 솔직히 질 뻔한 적이 진짜 되게 엄청 위기가 엄청 많았어요. 솔직히 마지막까지 이기면서도 승리를 확신하지 못해가지고 좀 약간 운도 좋게 이긴 것 같아요.
Yeah, to be honest, True played really, really well, and there were a lot of moments where I thought I could really lose this game against him, and till the end, I wasn't really sure, like, if I could win this, and I think there was a little bit of luck too that made me win this game against him.
Now, one thing I noticed throughout the games is True was able to get a lot of concaves over Solar over and over again. What was he trying to do when in these situations to kind of push it in his advantage, and what did he think he could do differently to maybe have made this an easier set of games?
생각보다 이제 트루 선수랑 이제 전투를 할 때 트루 선수가 생각보다 자리를 엄청 잘 잡더라고요. 그 순간마다 이제 뭐가 문제였던 것 같은지 하고 또 다음에 상대한다면 뭐를 좀 바꿔야 될 것 같은지.
태수 형 일단 되게 물량은 많으신데 약간 교전하실 때 약간 좀 세심한 컨트롤이 잘 안 되시는 것 같아요. 그래서 그 부분만 잘했으면 제가 원래 졌을 것 같아요. 약간 세심한 컨트롤만 보완하신다면 정말 잘하시는 저그 선수가 될 것 같아요.
Yeah, I think True is a really good player, and he has so many units always, and I think if he would like have a little bit more micro in detail, like use his micro a little bit more, then he would have won this game actually. So yeah, that's what I think.
Okay, well, it's not going to be long until the finals right now, so we're going to head it straight back to Richards and the analyst team, ready for Solar to warm up and get ready for the game against Hydra.
Thanks a lot for that, James. We're getting there, aren't we, with these interviews? Tough, it's hard. It's hard. I've been out there, mate. It's tough. Life in the streets is cold. Anyway, guys, we're going to talk some more about this sort of epic battle. It was a very close semi-final. We're going to do so with the benefit of some replays. We've got a big battle coming in here from Game 4. This is when it was really back and forth, and it kind of hung in the balance. Ben, why don't you talk us through what's happening here?
Well, Solar did the trick where you actually make buildings, then you make units, and in that time, because drones turn into buildings, they get their supplies removed, then he cancels them all. So he technically has a really, really big army right now. Despite having extra workers and stuff, his army supply is very, very similar. So he's working his way over. Now it's just a roach fest going on. And depending on position, which Solar actually has better positioning right now. And he's even splitting off half his army. All his Hydras are at the back constantly, and they are the real damage dealers in this army. And a massive flank. And True actually does very well to kind of counter Solar's good movement here. So what you'd normally find is a player just chose to fight like this, I suppose, but he keeps moving into one side at a time, so the army continually has to chase from Solar, so it deals less and less damage. So despite Solar having a better army, True actually came out ahead in this fight.
Yeah, and you have to not forget that he had +2 attack and the other one was just +1. And True just managed this perfectly, because there was a Hydra risk plus roaches and 10 supply extra against just pure roaches, and he still won the fight. That's impressive.
Yeah, now we're going to just speed it up. I believe we're going to have more. So here's another one. They're going at it again. Talk us through this one, Stefano.
Oh, I'm really bad at doing action to action. Just
oh, is it?
It's just happening. What's good about this is like True, you can see he's always trying to get his roach all attacking at the same time. You know, like when he sees someone not attacking, he will just move a little bit, and yeah, it's really hard on this kind of maps to be able to win a fight right away, because the reinforcements are really coming really quickly for Solar right now. And
one thing that also helps in this situation, when they're both not maxed, Solar's constantly this game had a much higher worker count, a good 10 or so extra workers. So at 200 supply, that means a lot, but it's better for the guy with less workers. if you have a bank, that is. But when they're both struggling to remax and such, having more workers is definitely a plus here. So Solar...
And here they go again.
Yeah, I mean, so Solar constantly can remax and resupply a lot more efficiently, even if his fights aren't necessarily as good. But it's true that constantly has to be the aggressor here. So he's the guy more likely, he has to take a bad fight, or rather, he wants to take a fight, but it's always going to be a little bit better for Solar and close to his base, so the reinforcements are closer, and eventually he just edges him out.
I mean, at this point as well, you know, it's got to be said, the pressure that's on Solar in terms of, you know, he knows he's going out of the tournament if he doesn't win this game.
Yeah, it's intense. And, I mean, it's still so ridiculously close. I mean, you look at the supply, they're both at 140 now. It was definitely a hard-fought series, and man, yeah, they both definitely worked for it. Both very, very good players. Even little bits of burrow micro there from Solar, so that was really neat and cool.
And the hardest part I feel in this kind of fight is like it's really extremely hard to judge if you are actually winning or losing the fight, because it's a really long fight and there's no production behind it. And you know your supply is dropping, but you don't know how effective it is on the opponent's army or not. And that's like why sometimes Zerg will stay longer than they need to stay, and instead of backing off and getting reinforcement, and that's how they use a fight sometimes.
Well, we've also got footage from the final game where True was eventually overwhelmed by Solar. We're just queuing that up now. So again, take it away. You tell us what's going on.
Okay, so the main difference right now is that Solar is mixing with Banelings. So the splash damage is extremely, extremely helpful in this kind of fight. You can see the Roach Pact, and just like 8 Banelings, we kill all of them. And it's really hard to split because the position is really narrow, so he can't really back off. But True is already in his base. And I feel like, yeah, the Baneling were the main edge for Solar in this fight. Yeah, upgrades are the same. It's 1-0, I guess, 1-0.
Also, you have to remember that even though Roaches are the optimal unit here, if you can afford Banelings, 4 Banelings is 1 Roach in terms of supply. So the amount of efficiency there from having Banelings in, even if it's just 10 supply worth, that's a good 20 Banelings. So they can deal a lot of extra damage in which those 5 Roaches in turn could not. So a really nice choice by Solar here. He was richer this game, and he went for the Banelings.
Yeah, it's helpful because it does damage, but it always also helps you get a better position with your Roaches, because it will force the opponent back, so you can get your concave, and the opponent find himself stuck in this position.
True didn't even split there at all either, but also, I guess, fighting on creep.
Yeah, the thing is, like, if he went back, he had 2 Evo and his Roach weren't blocking him, so he couldn't really maneuver really well in this position.
Yeah.
So it's Solar who progresses to the final, where he'll be playing Hydra. Just some thoughts about Solar then. I mean, was that a convincing win for you?
Convincing? Well, I mean, it was 3-2, but I think the thing is they were both extremely good, so it was going to be a hard match regardless. But going into the final against Hydra, he's already beat him once in this tournament in the group stage, but it was still very close. You know, it's going to be tough either way. And what are your thoughts? I mean, go on, say something nice for True.
I think True tried a few different styles. The Roach, without the speed, without lair, without upgrades, Roach tech. And it worked out once, and Solar tried to copy it. It didn't really work for him. And so, like, Solar didn't actually show any specific or different play style. He was just playing his style and responding to True. So right now, if he actually prepared something, he can use it for the finals, and he would have a hedge, I think. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, let's just take a look at the bracket. Let's see how we got here. We're now all but ready for the final. You can see the results. We've had Hydra having a great run, taking out SOS, and then battling away against J-Don't to make it to the final. You can see Solar as well getting there, just edging it against True in the game we just saw. Bunny was blasted out of the tournament by True 3-0, so the great foreign hope, something Stefano knows a thing or two about. He's not there, so we have lined up a great final. Guys, I want to I don't really want to thank you that much because you're still going to be here, but I definitely want to thank you for coming on the show.
My pleasure.
Any chance for comeback?
I'm always in London, and if Gfinity wants me, I will be here and available. Yeah, sure.
What about playing, though?
Oh, playing? Yeah. That's a whole different story. But
you still play a lot, though. Like, I've seen you stream.
I do my
a lot of Legacy.
Because I'm really behind on streaming. But maybe on Legacy, I will make a few tournaments. That's not a promise, but it's a possibility.
I reckon we can talk to Gfinity and get you an invite here.
Absolutely, that would be the dream.
Here we go. Well, thanks a lot for coming on. What we're going to do now is we are going to take a break before the final. The final is going to be at 6:30 UK time. That's 7:30 Central European time. Until then, get yourself hyped up. It's going to be Hydra versus Solar. It's going to be immense. We'll see you then.